Jingle Blagami, yeah. Hello everyone. There's some words in Bunjalung which means hello everyone. So welcome to the launch of the first Reconciliation Action Plan for Natural Hazards Research Australia. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Oliver Costello. I'm a Bunjalung man from the Northern Rivers of New South Wales, so not too far south of here. And I just firstly want to start by acknowledging country and paying my respects to elders past, present and future. And thank Tommy for the warm welcome to country this morning. Thank you, brother. It was really great way to start the proceedings. And it's a great honour for me to be here to move through this this next session on the RAP. I was, I guess, fortunate to be involved in the development of the RAP, and I guess it's sort of one of the first ways that I've engaged in the development of the what is now Natural Hazards Research Australia. I was formerly involved with the CRC in some research, and when I was asked to join the working group to develop the RAP, I was really humbled and really keen to get involved. Since then, I've also joined the board as well, so I've become much more involved in the centre, and I'm really looking forward to being able to support Natural Hazards Research Australia and the community that we have here today and beyond this place as well, around how we really learn and support each other to grow and make our environment and homes and places a safer place. So we're here to formally launch this important plan for reconciliation, which lays the foundations for all future reconciliation activities at Natural Hazards Research Australia. And as you've seen, you know, I think there's a really strong sentiment coming through of the importance of reconciliation. We're not a totally new organisation in a sense, but this is a new space that we're creating now. And there's a new identity. We've got old and new people coming and going, and I think it's really important that we understand the opportunities that we have to work together, not just in relation to our connection to country and the reconciliation with First Nations Australians, but all of us understanding the importance of connecting with each other and reconciling and supporting the growth of our important sense of identity. We'll start with the smoking ceremony from Tommy, and then you'll hear from Marang Yuan artist Leanne Book, who created the beautiful artwork for the RAP. You can see partly here. And then we'll hear from Sandy and Andrew. They'll talk a little bit more about from the centre's perspective. And then following the yarns we have here, we'll head out for some light refreshments and an activity, a reconciliation activity, which we'll go into in a bit more detail. But without further ado, are you ready for us there, brother? Yeah? So I'll kick it over to you.
Hello, welcome. We're about to commence into the smoking ceremony, but before we enter into the smoking ceremony, I'd just like to explain what the significance of the smoking ceremony is. Here in Yagara country, the smoking ceremony is for welcome to country. A lot of the festivals around this area, the invitations extend past Yagara country. So the mob that are travelling further from Yagara country through Yagara country, we're not sure of what they've stepped on or picked up along the way of their journey. To make things all clear, it is to usher them through the smoke. A lot of indigenous mobs, especially Yagara, other indigenous mobs around the world have a similar smoking ceremony, and the consistency is a spiritual ceremony. What we're going to do is, I'd like to invite you to come up, just come up to the stage here and just walk through the smoke while I sing an ancient song called Pulo Dalo. If you'd like to come up, yep. Yo, Baka Dalo, Narimande Pulo Dalo. Tumuralo, manara, yamana, tumuralo, manara, yamana, tumuralo, manara. chumuralo, chumuralo, malara yamana he. Wanya dalo no. Wanya dalo no. Hey. Ah, yeah. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Wanya dalo no. Wanya dalo no. Hey. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Wanya dalo no. Wanya dalo no. Hey. Ah, yeah. Ah, yeah. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Hey. Wanya dalo no. Wanya dalo no. Hey. Ah, yeah. Ah, yeah. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Wanya dalo no. Wanya dalo no. Hey. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Chumuralo, malarayan mana. Hey. Wanya dalo no. Wanya dalo no. Hey. Thank you, guys. I forgot to explain before how to actually bathe in it, and what I saw the majority of everyone doing, it's like you've done that before. And I also like to thank you. This is the majority of an event that I have had the entire lot of the people come through for the smoking, and that's the traditional way in Yagara country. Thank you for participating in our ancient ceremony. Yurda, welcome to Yagara country. Yurda.
Bugube, Bonham, thank you, brother. Yeah. But yeah, I have to find my words now. but yeah, lucky I've got these message sticks here as well to help guide me. So yeah, such a great honour to be welcomed to country, and I think something not to be taken lightly. You know, like this is an ancient tradition of, I guess, creating space for people to belong and to feel connected. You know, and making sure that people have a sense of understanding that they're leaving things behind and they're coming into a new space and a new place. And hopefully everyone feels, you know, like the smoke has filled this room and that connection that we have shared. We all smell, you know, we smell the leaves, we smell the smoke. We share these connections. And I guess it's such a great opportunity for us to launch this RAP and just, I guess, feel the sense of connection and opportunity that we have. You know, there's a document here, you know, a plan that we've set out. There's some people in the room that will know it better than others. Hopefully everyone will get to know it and get a sense of the understanding of the potential. It's a reflect RAP. It's one of the first steps along the road. I've never been involved in developing a RAP before, and it was a really great process. But I guess the most important thing is that we take that energy that's gone into this RAP, that's gone into this ceremony, and the opportunity that we've experienced here around leaving behind and new beginnings, and the responsibility that comes with that. In the way I've been taught, when you get welcome to country, it's like, you know, someone's letting you into their home and they're asking for you to respect the place, teaching you about the land, teaching you about where you can and can't go, the resources, the responsibilities, all that story. We have that opportunity here as well, as a part of this community that we have here, to go on a journey together, to understand, go beyond the paper and the words, and go through the heart and go on that journey together and support each other to build a really strong framework. The challenges that we face, we've been talking about all these challenges, they're not new. They're not new challenges. Climate change is not a new thing. It's happening much faster now because we have not been following the laws of the land. All people have been teaching these stories forever, Abas, like for a long time, teaching about how the land changes and the stories and how we need to understand our roles and responsibilities, our kinship, our connections, and to look after the place. And so many of the impacts that we're having and that we're seeing are because we have done the wrong thing by the land, we've done the wrong thing by each other. We need to learn those lessons. We've had the most amazing learning experiences in the last few years. Like, I've lived through them. I've lived through the fires and the floods, like being evacuated, all these things. The morning that we had the working group meeting was the morning that Lismore was being engulfed. You know, like I was trapped at home. You know, we had a landslide. You know, and I was like, oh, well, you know, I've been up all night. I couldn't sleep. I had a sense of knowing what was going on, and I you know, got up and I was just like, oh well, might as well go to this RAP thing and maybe we can make a difference. Seriously, that's what I thought. And it felt weird. It felt really surreal. It was like, oh, should I be doing this? How weird does it feel? You know, and the same thing about, you know, and Mary's, you know, thank Mary for talking me up, you know, with the flood inquiry stuff, like being able to feel the learning that land, the country can teach us, being able to feel that the heaviness of the rain and think about the old people's stories, think about Dirrawong, how Dirrawong shaped the landscape, the Brona story of the Bundjalung people, and all these different stories. You go, what does that mean? What is it teaching us? They all go back to following law. They go all back to responsibility to the country. And so hopefully we can go on this journey together. So I'll talk a little bit about the message sticks. So message sticks are First Nations, you know, like symbol of knowledge sharing, shared days, a sign of agreeing safe passage through collaborative process. And Barbara mentioned them earlier. And so when we were talking about the RAP and this forum and everything, I thought it'd be great for the Centre to have some message sticks so that we can create protocols around sharing knowledge and making sure that we're building a safe and inclusive space for that. So I thought maybe we could get some made, and I asked Uncle Marcus, who couldn't be here today, sadly he's got other stuff going on and can't make it up here, but he made these message sticks for us. So he made these message sticks, and it's quite symbolic, even ironically, that, you know, this is partly, you know, a meeting place between Bundjalung and Davur and other mobs coming through this country. And and so it's a good opportunity to kind of come together in this place and share these sticks together. So Marcus can't be here, but I'll read out what he's shared with us. So Uncle Marcus, he's a Nambour artist living on Ballina in the Ballina region, Ballina, we call him Ballina. And he's a custodian of the rivers and the land of the area. He's got lots of experience around caring for country, seasonal work, fire management, lots of different stories of country. He's a really great person to be on country with, and he's a really great artist. And with these sticks, he asked us to share that they're made from local wood from the Ballina area, and they're made with the spirit of good intentions. So whoever holds them must have good intentions in their heart and speak constructively. And so everybody that we ask to hold these sticks and carry these sticks, we ask them to hold that intent and to speak constructively. Yeah, so we'll use these sticks as we go around as Natural Hazards Research Australia, or maybe future names, who knows. And we'll share that story and we'll work together to learn from First Nations people and share knowledge. And not just First Nations, but for everyone. We're for everyone here now. We all belong to this country and we all have responsibilities as well. So without further ado, I'll welcome Lee to the stage to share some of her insights into the art that you created for us, which is really beautiful. And it's really great to see Lee. Me and Lee have done a little bit of stuff together in the past, and it's really amazing to sort of see how these relationships keep weaving and getting stronger and stronger.
Thanks, Ollie. Actually, I think one of the first times we met was at my property before the bushfires, before the Currawong bushfires came through in 2019. My husband and I'm going off topic already, my husband and I had bought some property and not thinking about the threat of fire so much, but just wanting to care for country, had reached out to Ollie on Fire Sticks at that time to come and teach us how to look after it. And lucky for us, we did that in July 2019, and the fires came in November 2019 and swept through like wildfire. And our place didn't get a drop of fire. It was protected. And it became this little haven for a lot of the animals that were around, that everything was burnt, and there was this green patch that they could come. So in the morning we could hear lyrebirds and birds of all types and kangaroos thumping through there. And we will forever be grateful for that experience, and that's kind of started me on my journey into land management. So Jamaga Yobini, Yilagaga Nindiwan Nyin Nawe, Nagalei, Leanne Brook, Naga Marumrang Yungu of the South Coast. Good evening. I'm glad to see you all here today. My name is Leanne Brook, and I belong to the Marumrang Yuln people of the South Coast. I would also like to pay my respects to the traditional custodians. Where'd Brother go? And recognise what it is a great privilege to not only walk on country, but to speak on country today. Naga bunja bidianyin, bagaganyin, ba nawe, ba bunja dawamalanya yuan, wananga yawe nawe. I pay respects to all old people, past, present and future, and extend that to all Aboriginal people here today. I'm a wife, mother, author, illustrator, artist, active Aboriginal community member and voice. I am part of a team working in the Cultural Fire Management Unit. I am a student, and country and elders are my teachers. It is listening to my teachers that has informed this artwork today. Manawara Danyin. Manawara Danyin. It is the Darugha words for in our hands. This artwork has so much story in it, but that's because there is so much important stuff to say. That's because this is not a light subject. Country is sick and people are sick. I bet we could all think of a story that we have experienced in the last few years that doesn't paint a pretty picture of the state of country. Drought, bushfires, floods, disease and species loss. And that's just what I've experienced in the last few years. But this story is about healing and reconciliation. Researchers working alongside First Nations people to blend traditional and modern ways of caring for country. Listening and learning. Our people stand strong on the shoreline, shielding our communities and protecting our way of living. Emerging from the dry, cracked earth, a woman holds a gentle flame in her hands. Fire is one of many tools that Aboriginal people used to renew country. She graciously offers it as a gift, hoping that we will listen. Look back so we can learn and go forward. Traditional knowledge is ancient, and from it together we can build resilient communities, healthy country, healthy communities. The scarlet honeyeater symbolises the need to adapt to change. This bird usually migrates from Queensland through New South Wales to around the Victorian border, but because of our changing climate, it is now seen even further down in Victoria. We too must be willing to listen to country and adapt. I have heard many an uncle say, you have 2 eyes and you have 2 ears and only 1 mouth for a reason. So you pay attention. Bugum, Wiradjuri for bogong moth, is an important insect for our people and for our environment. The 3 moths symbolise coming together for big talk, as well as a reminder of what we may lose if we do not act. Mobs once travelled to the mountains to feast on the dugong, and numbers were so great that our people still hold stories of the moths blocking out the sun. Now the numbers have collapsed to the point they have now joined the endangered species list. A pot of Muriira. Muriira baraga is the Duruga collective noun for a pot of whales. Was almost hunted to extinction. The whales represent resilience and moving forward as a group towards a more sustainable future. Australia has announced the removal of the humpback whale from the country's list of threatened species after a major recovery. They are estimating around 40,000 whales in Australian waters this year, which is a massive increase from the 1,500 that were recorded during the height of commercial whaling. We must learn from our mistakes. We all make mistakes, and sometimes we inherit the mistakes of others that came before us. But faults aside, it is in our hands, Manawa Danian, to make change and work together through problems, to learn what works and what doesn't, so we do not continue to pass down mistakes to our kin. I would like to thank Natural Hazards Research Australia for choosing me to tell this story. It means a lot to me, obviously. And it's a really important story to be able to tell, so I feel really privileged for that. And I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you.
Thanks, Leanne. And yeah, I just want to reiterate how special it is, I think, to have such a beautiful artwork to represent our RAP, and I guess so much meaning to it and so many layers for us to digest and to continue to learn from. Like for me, so much of the cultural learning story is layers, and just as you experience new things and new opportunities, more layers build up over time. Those layers become stronger and more rigid and become places that or ways of guiding you. And so it's really great that Lee's shared some of those layers with us today. Next up, I'd like to welcome Natural Hazards Research Australia CEO Andrew Gissing and board member Sandy Wright to the stage to provide a Natural Hazards Research Australia perspective.
Thanks very much, Ollie, and I'm really humbled to actually be here this evening representing the board. Reconciliation it's just a beginning, and we have a plan, and the commitment of the board is to see that the plan is actually implemented and that we move through all these stages of reconciliation action. The board's been really supportive of this process, and it's been my privilege to join the working group and to be part of the working group for the implementation of this plan. And I also just want to acknowledge all of those who are on right from the initiation stages and the leadership group, the management group within NHRA as well, who started this whole process off. Caring for country, I've been involved personally in emergency management, particularly bushfire, for those of you who know me, for nearly 30 years now as part of my career and progression. And that notion that Leanne has presented so beautifully in her artwork, and the need for healing, and that it is in our hands. I've witnessed some horrendous things personally. We've all been doing research and seen how communities are in pain and how our country is really unwell and sick. And so I hope that through this centre and the research activities that we can be part of and inspire, that we can be part of that healing journey. And I just really thank Ollie and being part of this Reconciliation Action Plan and demonstrate the board's absolute commitment to see its implementation. We're not just launching a plan, we're starting a new journey in the way that we work in this reconciliation process. So thank you.
Over there.
Well, it is fantastic to be able to hold this document up and really acknowledge its value to our organisation and the work that we'll be doing to implement it going forward as well. And, you know, just how exciting that is. But we really hope that our partner organisations, our research organisations can really join that journey with us and really embrace reconciliation and embrace Indigenous knowledge in our research and work with us too to embrace a lot of the actions in here. And a lot of that too is about how we continue to build capability around Indigenous research too, which is so vitally important. But that's not all that the RAP is about. I want to thank Richard Thornton. I did give Richard some praise this morning, but particularly being the instigator of this particular initiative, which is so vitally important, as we've all recognised here tonight. I also want to acknowledge those people that have really played a part in the working group, chaired by Beth Patch down here at the front, who's done a great job to lead, and certainly since I've joined Natural Hazards Research Australia to really incite the value and the catalyst of the value of this work inside myself as well. So well done, Beth. But particularly the working group, Ricky Archer, Tammy Small, Amy Williamson, Ollie, Kat Haynes, Nick Marnie, Frida Leichhardt, and previous members also, Jade Ritchie, and of course, Richard. This, as Ollie mentioned, this is really just the start of the journey. This is our first RAP, and it lays the foundations for the work going forward to strengthen connections and partnerships with First Nations people. We hope that this will motivate and, of course, drive that wider change across the broader sector that we work in as well. So just to read a little bit about the overall vision of reconciliation in our organisation is, we hope that we'll learn to value, respect, trust and respect First Nations people as the traditional custodians and knowledge holders of the landscapes that Natural Hazards Research Australia seeks to protect. We'll meaningfully include First Nations people in the development of a national natural hazards research program and priorities that are developed with genuine partnership. We'll support First Nations people to lead, design and conduct research that benefits communities and landscapes across their country. And finally, we'll provide First Nations people with the collaborative support needed to strengthen their access and connection to country and culture in ways that benefit and align with their values and vision for a sustainable and resilient future. The exciting thing is that we've got a journey ahead of it, but we've already started. We've already got some work underway, broader and inside our team as well, to implement this, and we're really committed to seeing it through, and hopefully to see your commitment to help us and to broaden the work into the future as well. So thank you, and thanks to the groups involved.
So thank you, everyone. That's sort of it for here now, but we have refreshments and we've got an activity that we're explaining out there. Yeah, we're going to do the explaining out there, make it easier for everyone. Yeah. Once again, thanks everyone. It's a real honour to be here and be a part of this, and I think we're really putting our best foot forward, and hopefully we can walk together and really, I guess, remember that, that we're standing on the shoulders of our ancestors, all of us. We're all here because our ancestors survived and flourished and provided the pathways for us to be here. And we just need to remember that going forward, that we need to lay that pathway for the future generations. So, Boogaberi Blogomir, and come check out the sticks out there, and we'll have a few yarns, yeah? Thank you.